Hey everybody, it is Randy with Carchaeology, and in between shop projects here, I'm trying to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's to, kind of put together something that I can share not only with my family, but with people like yourself about where I've been and what I've done. You know, when you kind of hit middle age and you realize that time is moving quickly, I think it's important to get all your stuff together so that there are things that you can share with those people that matter the most. And, well, a lot of stuff that is in these books right here is stuff that I hope to share not only with you guys, but also with my family. These are all magazines that have feature articles and things on cars that I've built, different projects I've been involved with, and stuff like that. And it's quite a bit. I mean, that's a big old stack of magazines there. And that's not all of them. I know that there's several articles that I don't have in this stack. And I really want to dig through all my stuff and get it all together in one spot. So it's a good little keepsake, something that the kids can pour through down years from now if they care to keep all of this paper. I also want to take this opportunity to kind of get a digital version of each and every article here so I can share it with other people as well. Now, I've kind of done a little bit of that in the past. If you go to my website, the oldbug.com/press.htm, you can see a listing of different magazine articles, different TV stuff, all sorts of other projects that I've been involved with. But it's not very complete, and the images of the articles, you can't read them. And by all means, it's not all there. So I want to update that. You can certainly go and check it out now, but hopefully when I'm done with the project, there will be more that you can see. My thought is to take each cover and have that be something that you can click on, and then it takes you into the article. And in this case, this was an article on a road trip that my family took in a vintage Land Rover all through Europe. And again, feature articles on different cars that I've built and things like that. And it's been super fun to kind of go through this all and walk down memory lane of all the cars that I've been involved with. It's really been fun. It's a little shocking to me personally. It's like, it's a little more than I thought, which is a good thing. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity to have anything in a magazine. I mean, I remember the first time I had something in a magazine, a vehicle featured, it was in 1989, and it was like, boom, I have found something that I'm good at. I was just a kid. I was super excited, and I still get just as excited if I get something in the mail that has pictures of my stuff. And it's a part of sharing the story, which I love to do, and I want to share it in a way that others can be entertained and hopefully a little bit inspired about it. Because if a hack like me can put together a car here in my garage and get it into the pages of a magazine, I think you guys can too. So in any case, follow along here. I'm going to do a slideshow of some articles of the different cars and stuff I've been involved with, and I may do a little voiceover over the top of it. And I hope you enjoy the trip through some of the roads I've traveled. So I've always tried to frame the magazine features of any cars that I've had, and I've got several of them up on the wall, quite a few in fact. And it's wonderful if you're here in the lab walking around. It's cool to see these. They're very well preserved for the future, and they're a cool looking thing. But eventually you start running out of wall space, and you've got to figure out something else to do. I know that's a tough problem to have, and I'm fortunate enough to have it. But so many wonderful cars that have come through my hands, projects I've worked on, cars that have been made into lighters and toys and all sorts of different stuff. I mean, it's kind of like having an action figure of yourself if they make a toy of your car, which is one of the reasons why I want to see the Brubaker box done. But in any case, a lot of the articles have not been framed, and I'd love to do something with them to share them with others if I can, whether it be somebody that's visiting or online here, of course. Now, there are several cars that have been featured in multiple magazines, and I don't feel like I need to frame each and every one of those to post them up, but it's super cool to see them. Monster Garage, when I was on the TV show, that got featured all over the place. There's a lot of other cars that I have that are in, or that I've done, that have been in other little books and magazines, and then, of course, the full features on all sorts of different stuff. The Western Bolt and Screw thing, the Tim Allen cars. These are both cars that I worked on here in the lab before delivering up to Tim. The Volks T, this was a Volkswagen powered Model T. That was a wild little thing. The radio bus, this was a mobile broadcast station VW bus that was really awesome. Some of the freak show cars that I've built over the years, interviews with me, and variety of photos and stuff there. Obviously, the fire trucks, Anya, the Mercedes, the muscle car stash got a lot of press. It was all over the place. This interview with a magazine called Type did a really cool thing. They assembled a bunch of photos of cars that I'd built in the past. It's a little tiny, small circulation magazine, but it's really one of my favorite articles ever on anything that I've done. Ultra VW did this nice article as well with some great photos of different cars in the past. Some of them are articles that I've written. That's my split window there on the cover, and this is an article that I wrote about Volkswagen 50 years. And I've been writing articles for a ton of different magazines over the years, and I haven't necessarily framed those because it's just words. But any sort of travel to the shop, any sort of coverage of a car that I've built, well, then by all means, that's something that I want to frame and share for the future. Volkswagen Speed in Germany, Monster Garage coverage. The magazines have truly been global. Volksworld in England. This is a 23 window bus that I restored. Beautiful bus. Another Volksworld in England with the coach-built bodied Romich Volkswagen. Really fun to see the Romich Mercedes come after that. This is Super VW article on the same vehicle. Air Mighty magazine article in here, history of the wrought iron Volkswagen Beetles, of which I've had 3, which is really crazy. Super VW magazine, the Barris T-Buggy. This was an awesome experience. Got to bring that up and show it to George Barris. European Car Magazine with the new Mini when that came out. We tricked out a couple of those. I sold parts and accessories and stuff for those cars. That little mini panel van ended up all over the world. Go Mini magazine, another cool article on that. It was a really fun little car. I've got a sweet spot in my heart for those. The 98 Volkswagen Beetle, that car got everywhere in all of its different forms. This was it in its last form, where it was as crazy as it could be, with it was like ground graphics through clear coat. Really bizarre. New Beetle convertible that we did for a client. The road trip of the trip across the country in 1998 for Volkswagen Driver magazine was super cool. Another coverage of the custom Volkswagen convertible European car. Again, the custom Volkswagen convertible that ended up going all over the place, which was awesome. A couple magazines with little tours of the shop. Here's the new Beetle delivery van that I had at one point. Hot Fours magazine, the 98 Beetle in its final form with crazy audio bond in audio in it. This was in another formation of that same car, the TVA Beetle. This is the one that Johnny Lightning made a car out of. Here's the Western Bolt and Screw panel as well. This was a very fun and crazy story of how I built that for somebody that lost a vehicle to fraud. Type 82E replica. Here's more on Tim Allen's cars, the 56 Beetle. Fun story on that. I'll have to share that in another video at some point. The Warlook cars, the Cowlook Kubelwagen was a car that I built out here at the lab. That Type 44, or that 44 Type 82E was also a car out here, and that got a lot of press all around the world as well. Another Air Mighty feature here. This was on the Emden 100,000th Volkswagen Beetle that I stumbled across. This is an article on the Volkswagen Museum in Michigan that I wrote. The Barris buggy here, that was a Barris Fun buggy, another cool car. The industrial look, this is my 53 split window. Absolutely love that car, would love to have it back. Street VWs in Japan, coverage of the Monster Garage build. Ultra VW in England, coverage of the Monster Garage build. Of course, that was huge news when that happened. It was a really fun experience. I had so much fun doing that. The Rosensteel Roadster is another car that was seen all over the world. Absolutely love that. The Split Taxi, this was something I did in the early 90s. That car was on the cover of VW Trends, as well as features all around the world. Really fun, crazy car. Gasoline Magazine, the Muscle Car Stash. That is another one that ended up absolutely worldwide. Amazing collection of cars, and I'm so thrilled to have been able to handle those. Classic American Magazine even got the cover of that. Great coverage of that stash of machines, and sharing the story of of their previous owner. This was another feature on that as well. And it was really a nice tribute to Mark Spear, the owner of those cars back in the day. The Kaiserslautern Coupe, this was a coach-built bodied car done by a school in Germany. That one got a fair bit of press as well. The Mercedes, of course, is doing quite well out there. There's another feature pending on that should be coming out this summer. Of course, the Kittyland fire trucks, amazing spread in Hot VW's magazine about those, and those too are coming out in a variety of different magazines. The Myers-Banks Resorter that we did here, really nice spread in Hot VW's on that. The Star Magazine coverage, this is probably my favorite feature ever of a car. They really used phenomenal photos that were done by Royce Rumsey. Great article. They just absolutely did everything, including the cover and the back page. Hot Rod Magazine. There you go. Cover of Hot Rod Magazine. I never thought that would happen. And of course, that was with the Arizona Muscle Car Stash. Cars and Parts Magazine. This is a 13-window bus that I restored a number of years ago. Street VW's Magazine. This was a Westphalia bus that belonged to actor Ewan McGregor that I did some work on. I've done several cars for him, and we've become good friends with that. Different books. The New Beetle book, the first custom New Beetle, was my blue one. Demon Bugs, this book has several cars that I've built in there. The school bus, the Monster Garage drag car with coverage of that, the 412 wagon, the Herbie Bug. Really fun. This was a Beetle that we prepared for a giveaway for a company, and this was one of the flyers for it. CEC Wheels had used my 98 New Beetle as their advertising car. Classic Car Magazine, this was coverage of a Packard that we had that had 1,300 miles on it. More coverage of the Mini modifications and my shop at the time where we were selling those parts. It was fun to see that in there as well. We sold quite a bit of Mini stuff. This was my first feature, the 62 Crew Cab and VW Trends magazine. That one started it all. This single cab transporter, we did a complete restoration on that and then dialed it in for a client in Dubai. 1950 Hoffman Beetle. This was on the cover of Hot VWs as well as a really nice feature. More on the Tim Allen cars that, of course, got a lot of press. Any star power pushes that stuff all over the place. Let's see, which one was this? Oh, again, the 98 Beetle. I might have duplicated that a couple times. Combi Magazine, here's the radio bus once again. That was a really cool special car that I drove all the way to North Carolina for. There you go, Playboy Magazine. I've actually been on the cover, or covered in Playboy Magazine, or at least mentioned. Here was our road trip around Europe in the vintage Land Rover. I love this one because it has the whole family in it. Super VW Magazine, the Rosensteel Roadster. There's also an article on there, in there somewhere, on the Rosensteel Coupe that I've got to bring that out, find that, and add that to it. Combi magazine. This was the Volkswagen Hormiga that we restored here at the lab. That's a Mexican-built front-wheel drive air-cooled Volkswagen truck. Let's see, Super VW again, the Volkswagen powered Veep. This was a Jeep steel body with a Volkswagen power plant. Had a lot of fun with that little one. Another road trip. This is my wife and I did a camping trip throughout Europe in a friend's camper. That got covered in the magazine. This all original 68 camper was another one featured in the British magazine. And that one I ended up shipping to Europe, driving around with my son, and then we delivered it to its new owner in Germany. More on the Kaiserslautern Coupe in Classic Porsche magazine, Hot VW's magazine, Mog the Manx. This is the one that sold for over $100,000 at auction. Absolutely blew my mind. And then there's other articles that I haven't been able to find the hard copies for. This one here, the Australian country buggy. I need to find that. I suppose I could photograph this, but I want to find the cover. And there's other ones that are over here as well that I need to find a copy of so I can add them to the array. And it's fun. It's kind of fun to look back at it. I certainly have a sense of pride in the stuff that I've accomplished working on all of these cars. It's just kind of built up over time. It's just been super fun to do. And then there's other fun cars that I've been involved with that never made it into a magazine, neat projects and things like that, stuff that I've done for special people. And I'd like to figure out a way to document all of that as well. But anyway, it's a little awkward to put all this stuff out there. It almost seems like it's an ego pump, and I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it so that it's all in one spot, so that the people that matter the most to me can see where I've been and what I've done. Because I don't want to leave this earth and have it all just kind of disappear. You know, you want to build a legacy of some sort in your life. It's what inspires me to do stuff that people remember and to have a good time in the process of it. And in the end, it doesn't really matter, right? We're just people. We're just doing our thing. But if you can do something that you enjoy, if you can put your passion forward, get it out there to the world, and have it be successful for you like I have, for me, I think it's a really cool thing. You know, the old saying says, do what you love and the money will follow. Well, I've lived that and I've had a great time with it. And while I'm certainly not a wealthy guy when it comes down to dollars in the bank, I am certainly a rich man for the experiences that I've had and the places that I've been and the opportunities that have been given to me through expressing my passion and doing what I do, playing with these goofy old cars. So get out there in the garage, build cool shit, pump it like crazy to the people in the magazines, meet the folks that make the difference when it comes to that. Get it out there. It's super fun. Whenever I'm mopey and I'm all pissed off, which happens an awful lot because I'm human, I come out here in the lab and I look at the stuff that I've accomplished and I go, you know what? Damn it, I'm okay. And you're okay too. Thanks for watching, everybody. Keep on digging them up and driving them and build cool stuff. Okay? Bye-bye.